President Trump today praising Paul Manafort, who, don't forget, is now a convicted felon facing years in prison. The president calling his former campaign chairman a brave man. Let's discuss now. Congressman Ted Lieu is here. He's a California Democrat who is a member of the Judiciary Committee. Congressman, thank you for joining us this evening. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Don.
The president tweeted this morning attacking his own Justice Department's treatment of his convicted former campaign manager. Here's what he said. He said, "I feel very badly for Paul Manafort and his wonderful family. Justice," which is in quotation marks, by the way, took a 12-year-old tax case, among other things, applied tremendous pressure on him, and unlike Michael Cohen, he refused to make up stories in order to get a deal. Such respect for a brave man." And then he put an exclamation point on top of that. So Manafort was convicted by a jury of 8 counts of bank and tax fraud charges. Yes, the president has quotes around, the word justice, but why is the president defending Paul Manafort? He's a convicted felon.
Thank you for your question, Don. As a former prosecutor, it is very hard for me to watch these direct attacks on the rule of law by Donald Trump. And it's also very telling because an innocent person would not view these facts the same way that a criminal mind would. And in this case, Donald Trump clearly thinks that cooperating with the government, with prosecutors, is somehow bad, and being convicted of tax fraud and bank fraud is somehow bad. No. These are actual crimes, and in America, we uphold the rule of law, and no one who commits bank fraud and tax fraud should be able to get away with it. And I think the president really needs to apologize and to stop attacking law enforcement.
But the president keeps lashing out at Michael Cohen, who pled guilty to, and is cooperating, by the way, with authorities while he continues to praise Paul Manafort. So it's interesting. What does that say to you?
Well, let me say that Michael Cohen's guilty plea is a game changer. We now have a sworn court document under oath in which basically the President of the United States is alleged to have committed 2 felonies. And I think it's important for people to understand that there's a difference between a civil campaign finance violation versus a criminal campaign finance violation. In this case, Donald Trump is alleged to have engaged in 2 criminal campaign finance violations where the punishment is prison time. And I can understand why the president is very nervous, why he attacks Michael Cohen, because Donald Trump is in serious legal jeopardy.
Wow. And you really believe that. So you say he's in serious legal jeopardy, but as a lawmaker, do you have any recourse? What actions can the Democrats take without the Republicans acting? Because there's a deafening silence coming from Republicans on Capitol Hill now.
Most campaign finance violations are handled by the FEC. Those are civil fines. That's what happened with the Obama campaign. That's a case Donald Trump referred to. But when we look at this fact pattern, Congresswoman Kathleen Rice and we wrote a letter to FBI because as former prosecutors, we thought this looks like a felony. And we asked the FBI to investigate. And they did. Life comes at people fast, and now you've got Michael Cohen essentially pleading guilty to felony campaign finance violations. And it's important to understand that in a democracy, campaign finance laws are extremely important. They're one of their bedrock principles for our democracy, to make sure that elections are run fairly, and for people to somehow say that this is not a big deal is highly disturbing.
Well, let's talk about the Justice Department. The Justice Department is led by Attorney General Jeff Sessions, whom the president continues to publicly undermine. What would you like to see Jeff Sessions do differently?
Well, I think it's actually honorable for Jeff Sessions to continue to not intervene in the Russia probe and the Russia investigation. He did what was ethically right by recusing himself. I would like to see Jeff Sessions speak up more against Donald Trump when he gets attacked by the president. And I have to give a great shout out to Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who has done a tremendous job so far making sure that the rule of law is being followed. And when you have a Department of Justice that is allowed to proceed without political interference, you get convictions, you get the rule of law being honored.
So in light of the developments with Manafort and Cohen, Senate Democrats want to suspend confirmation the hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Do you think his nomination should go forward?
No, I do not. But it is also a problem when you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You see that they have been complicit and the culture of corruption that has occurred this past year and a half. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if Republicans went forward with the nomination. I don't think they should do that. And in the House of Representatives, I'm on the House Judiciary Committee. I think our committee now absolutely needs to hold hearings on the campaign finance allegations against the president, in particular because the Department of Justice guidelines have said that they're not going to indict a sitting president, which means it's now incumbent on Congress to investigate, did Donald Trump commit 2 felonies? And if he did, then what do we do with those facts?
Congressman Ted Lieu, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks for watching. Our coverage